Cell membrane.
Cell membrane.
Cell membrane. Yes.
Cell membrane.
The cell membrane controls the
Sorry. You need permissions. My boys, you need permission. Yes. Zulfaqar Abbas. Zulfaqar.
Yes.
Cell membrane. Can you define cell membrane?
Yes, it's the thing that allows things to go inside and allows things to go outside. And it's the outer covering of the cell.
Flexible wrapping. Flexible wrapping in the cell. Flexible wrapping. You can repeat. Charvel. Charvel. Charvel.
Mister, can you repeat it because
Charvel. Charvel. Okay. Ahmed Mufid. Ahmed Mufid. Define cell membrane. Any information about cell membrane?
what?
What's his job? Cell membrane.
Sir,
What's his job?
what is a shop?
No. What's cell membrane job? Functions
Okay.
for the cell membrane.
It protects the cell.
Controls. We explained. Controls
The protection.
what materials move into and out of the cell. He allows only certain substances are able to enter and leave the cell.
Okay.
Now, what about the cytoplasm? Cytoplasm, a gel-like liquid. Cytoplasm, a gel-like liquid. And the cytoplasm is mostly made of water, consists of water. Now, we can define cytoplasm, a gel-like liquid. And cytoplasm is mostly made of water. Who can repeat the definitions?
Yes.
Yazan? Yes, Yazan?
Cytoplasm is a thing like a gel.
Yeah.
And it's mostly made of water.
Okay, thank you so much, thank you. Last one, Yazan, last one. Yazan, last one. Okay, cytoplasm. When you bend your hair, gel. You know gel? Cytoplasm like gel like liquid, mostly made of water, and variety of organic fluid in the cytoplasm. There's other job for cytoplasm. Supports all the cell structures. Supports all the cell structures. We know the structure of the cell. And some of cells, life processes take place in the cytoplasm. Any question about cytoplasm? Now we are gonna to explain nucleus. You know nucleus from grade 4, nucleus. Most of cells contains nucleus. It's large and has a job control centers. It has a job control centers in the cell. The main job for nucleus is control centers. It's so large, and the nucleus is usually easy to see with a microscope. We can see the nucleus by our eyes. We need a microscope because it's so small. It has membrane with pores, and the cell will be grow, move, and may divide at some point. Sometimes it divide. These functions are controlled by the cell's nucleus. Mitochondria. Mitochondria. Mitochondria, store of food. Mitochondria, store of food. Who can explain how the mitochondria store the food and change the food to energy?
Mister, I know.
Yes, Yasin?
Yes.
Yasin? Yes?
It take the mitochondria from the sun, take energy from sunlight. The mitochondria take energy from the sunlight and
Yes? You can say supply energy for the cell by breaking down food. Supply energy for the cell by breaking down food.
food.
Yes. Break down the food and releases energy for the cell to use
Mister,
in its activity. Yeah. Any questions?
Mister, what make the food? Mitochondria or chloroplast?
Mitochondria is breaking down the food, convert it to energy. Here we have talked about an animal cell. Here we have talked about animal cells.
Mister,
Yes.
chloroplast take the sun in, and mitochondria use the sunlight to make food or power.
Yes. The main job is supporting the cell by energy. Now we are gonna to discussing vacuoles. Vacuoles is a membrane cover structure used for storage. Vacuoles, I repeat, is a membrane cover structure used for storage. Stored the wastes, maybe water, maybe food. It stored inside the cell. Now, how are mitochondria similar to tiny power plants? Mitochondria, yeah. How are mitochondria similar to tiny power plants? 1 minute, think about the questions. How are mitochondria similar to tiny power plants? Because what is the main job for tiny power?
Because it supplies the energy for the
Provide energy
it
for
provides for the plant cell.
For the cell. Provide energy for the cell. The same job, the same function. Mitochondria are similar to power plants. You can write the answer for quick check. Write the answer in your copybook or in your book. The answer, yes, mitochondria are similar to power plants because they provide energy for the cell. I will repeat the answers. Mitochondria are similar to power plants because they provide energy for the cell. Clear?
Clear.
Okay. Now, what do you think a cell would function without a nucleus? Explain your answer. Do you think a cell would function without a nucleus? Explain your answer. Who can give me the answer or thinking or any idea? You do think or no?
Me.
Yes, Omar?
They will die.
You think or no?
The plants will die. The
You
plant
think
will
or no? The first part, do you think or no?
do. Yes, of course.
I'm sorry, it's false.
No, it cannot.
I don't think a cell can function without a nucleus.
Because the nucleus is the center.
Yes, the nucleus controls the cell's activities.
If there wasn't
Yes.
a nucleus,
The cells controls
control the cells.
the cell's activity. The nucleus control the cell activity. Control centers. Yes. And cell would not be able to break down food to provide energy. Provide energy, this means grow or move without a nucleus. You can write the answers. You can write the answers. I don't think a cell can function without a nucleus. The nucleus controls the cell's activity. Till here it's enough. You can explain or answer to here.
واحد حيوان بديش اشوف الجيم حكي. طيب
Yasin Ahmed. Yasin.
Yes.
Yes. The nucleus controls the cell activities. Yeah?
Yeah.
You have a questions?
No.
Okay. Now we are gonna to explain what's inside a plant cell. What's inside a plant cell? Mitochondria, vacuole, nucleus, cytoplasm, cell membrane, cell wall, chloroplast. Yeah? Cell wall, it's a layer. Cell wall, it's a layer covering around the outside of the cell. Cell wall, outer covering around the outside of the cell. Here we can say it's a stiff structures, rigid structures outside the cell membrane. Rigid structures outside the cell membrane. What's its job? What is the job for cell wall? His job, provides the plant cell with the strength and extra support. He gives the cell extra support. The cell wall gives the cell extra support. Vacuole. Who has any idea about the vacuole?
It's a storage.
Yes.
Storage.
Yes.
It is the storage of the cell.
May.
Sir,
Please raise your hand. Yes. Okay. Who can? Talha.
Yes,
What about the vacuole?
the vacuole is the storage of the cell.
So what?
Of the cell.
Store water. Maybe store water. Because the plant needs extra water. The plant need extra water, store wastes. Yeah?
Okay.
Vacuoles release the stored water into the cell because the plant need water, store water, and provide extra support for the cells. The vacuole here, unlike animal cells, because the plant cells usually have one large. Plant cell have one large, but the animal is so small. There is difference. We can make comparison between the two, plant cell and animal cells. Here we hear the series from cell to organism. If we make comparison between plant cells and animal cells, I will explain what is the difference between plant cells and animal cells. For the plant cells, it has cell wall, but animal cells don't have. Mitochondria, plant cell and animal cell have. Chloroplast only in the plant cell, nucleus in the pod, chromosomes in the bud. What about the vacuole? What about the vacuole? The vacuole,
So the vacuole
it's
stores
large in plant cell. It's large in plant cell and small in animal cell.
but the animal cells has many vacuoles.
Yes. I compare here between the volume. Cell membrane, it exists in the both plant cell and animal cell. Cytoplasm in the plant cell and animal cells. Now, who can read about chlorophyll? Who can read the first passage? Yeah? Chlorophyll, yeah? Who can read? Chlorophyll. Who can read? Chlorophyll.
Mia.
Yes.
عبادة رمزي. عبادة رمزي. You hear me? عبادة. Chlorophyll is able to use energy in sunlight. Similar cells working together at the same functions. From a who can answer?
Yes. It's a tissue.
Yes, it's able to use the energy in sunlight. Similar cells working together at the same function form a tissue. Yes. Number 2, A blank is the smallest unit of living things. The smallest unit.
Mister, can I answer?
Yes. Answer.
As it's the cell.
Yeah, a cell is the smallest unit of living things that can carry out the basic processes of life. The last?
Mia.
Yes, safe.
A group of tissues working together to form a specific function, form an organ.
An organ, function, form an organ. Okay, now we can continue. Charvel.
Me, Sayed.
Charbel, read.
Organs that work together to perform a certain function make up an organ system.
Organ, we showed before a little. Organ systems. Okay, multicellular organisms are made of more than one cell. And organisms equal is living things. Organisms is a living thing. Now here we can compare between plant cells and animal cells. The difference, different. Plant cell has a chloroplast cell wall. Plant cell has chloroplast cell wall. Animal cells has many or no vacuoles. Alike between the both have cell membrane organelles. Both
Mr.
have cell membrane organelles. Clear?
Clear.
Okay.
Mister, I have a question.
Yes.
Why in the animal cell does not have vacuoles?
Vacuoles because they store water, because the plant maybe need water in desert, for example. But in the animal, no need. Now we'll explain how are cells organized. But before that, we will see a video.
There's no sound.
Are you hear the video?
No. Oh.
Both animal and plant cells have membrane-bound organelles. They also have cytoplasm, a cell membrane, a nucleus, mitochondria, rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum, a Golgi apparatus, and peroxisomes. The nucleus is where the genetic information of the cell is housed. The cytoplasm is not to be confused with the cytosol. The cytoplasm is the entirety of the cell contained by the cell membrane. The cytosol, on the other hand, is the part of the cytoplasm not taken up by organelles. The cell membrane is an important semi-permeable division between the cell and its surroundings. It allows the cell to control its own biochemistry by only letting certain substances pass through it. Mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell. They are specialized to perform aerobic respiration, converting glucose to ATP, which is the energy currency of the cell that is used to perform functions necessary for life.
Let's hear mitochondria store food for energy.
Both rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum help with the production and storage of proteins. The rough endoplasmic reticulum is covered in ribosomes, which translate RNA into protein. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum makes lipids. The Golgi apparatus modifies proteins. Peroxisomes metabolize waste. Now let's get to the differences between plant and animal cells. One major difference is that plant cells have a rigid cell wall around their plasma membrane.
Cell wall. Here, cell wall, yeah.
It is composed of cellulose, providing additional stability and protection. As a result, plant cells have fixed angular shapes, while animal cells are mostly round and irregular. Another important difference between animals and plants is how they obtain their energy. Plants are autotrophs, which means that they produce their own food. Meanwhile, animals are heterotrophs, meaning that they must
Animals, it needs to other cell to form a cell. Plants make its food by its own self.
Digest their food. Plants produce sugars through photosynthesis, and then break down the sugar to produce energy. Animals consume other organisms such as plants to obtain sugar, which they then also break down to produce energy. Plants are autotrophs thanks to special organelles called chloroplasts, which are full of chlorophyll, a green pigment that captures light energy to drive the reactions in photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants use the sun's energy to make sugar. Once the sugar is made, it gets broken down in mitochondria.
Here, breaking down the food. Breaking down the food.
Another important difference between plant and animal cells is in their vacuoles. Vacuoles in plant cells can occupy up to 90% of the cell's volume, and
vacuoles in plant cell occupy 90%. It's a lot.
Have a single membrane. One of their roles is simply to fill up space, but they can also have digestive functions similar to lysosomes. Vacuoles have enzymes that perform many functions and can store nutrients or provide space to degrade waste substances. Animal cells can also have vacuoles, but they are much smaller than the large.
Notice here, animal cells can have vacuoles much smaller.
Central vacuole in plant cells. There are multiple of them, and they don't take up 90% of the space. Plant and animal cells both also have cytoskeletons, which feature microtubules, intermediate filaments, and microfilaments. However, these structures are arranged differently in plant and animal cells. Centrioles are present in all animal cells, but are only present in lower plant forms such as Chlamydomonas. Centrioles are microtubule organizing centers, which are structures from which microtubules emerge. Plants don't have centrioles, but instead have many small nucleation sites. In plants, only reproductive cells, known as gametes, can have flagella, such as the sperm of bryophytes. Some animal cells also have flagella. In humans, sperm are the only cells.
Okay, it's enough. Now, quick revision. What's inside a plant cell? Vacuole. Mitochondria, vacuole, nucleus, cytoplasm, chloroplast, cell wall, and cell membrane. Cell wall, you can put highlight, cell wall, an additional outer covering around the outside cell. Cell wall, provide plant cell with strength and extra support. Vacuole provide extra support. Keep the plant from drying out. It's a large in the plant. Need extra water. Chloroplast. Plant make their own food in structure inside their cells, called chloroplasts. Able to use the energy in sunlight. All we have to note, many plant cells are green because this answer is so important of the chlorophyll in their chloroplasts. But if they are lack chloroplasts, are not green, there's other color. If they lack chloroplasts, there are other color. How are cells organized? Cell, tissue, organs, and organ system. For the homework, answer in workbook, page 3, 4, 5, 6.
All.
Yes, from 3 to 6. It's so easy. The homework, page 3, 4, 5, 6 from the workbook. Next lesson, you have to do it in your home.
We send that.
Next lesson,
What?
page 3, 4, 5, 6 in the workbook. It's so easy. It talk about organism or living things. For example, all organisms or living things are made of cells. We explain. Every cell and every living thing comes from another cell that maybe splits or divides. It's so small. Single cell organism that can carry on all its life processes is called unicellular. Simple studying, you can answer the homework. Muhammad Tariq. Muhammad Tariq.
He left, ya Master.
Okay.
He left.
Okay. Now do the homework and be ready for the next lesson. Be ready for the next lesson. It's so small. Okay. Yes?
Sir, please, can you move the page to the middle of the screen, please?
Okay. This page, this page, this page. You need answers, Ziv? Here we can explain what the advantage of specialization. We'll talk in the next lessons. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Here's comparison between animal cells and plant cells. Do you have any question, my sons?
No.
Please do the homework from page 3, 4, 5, 6. Next lesson will be answer it.
Is it on mail?
It's so easy.
There's 3, 4, and 6
Yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6.
in the workbook.
Next lesson will be answer it.
Book. Mister, we leave now.
Yes.
Mister.
Time's up now. Yes.
The homework is on the workbook.
Yeah, in the workbook. Yes, in the workbook.
3 and 6. Okay.
In the workbook. Any questions?
Send it to you.
What?
We picture it and send it to you.
No. In your copybook, in your textbook, workbook. Yes?
What?
In your workbook. Do you have workbook, yeah?
Yeah, I have it.
Yes. Now, thank you so much. Thank you so much. See you later.